It was a bright, sunny afternoon at Gate 17 in the big Atlanta airport. The sky outside was blue, with fluffy white clouds floating by. People were busy walking around, dragging suitcases, and talking on their phones. A plane was waiting at the gate, ready to fly to Miami. It was a short trip, just an hour in the air, but oh boy, what a day it was going to be. The plane was boarding, which means people were lining up to get on. Everyone seemed normal, like any other day at the airport. But something big was about to happen. Something no one saw coming. Meet Jamal Carter. He's our guy, the star of the story. Jamal didn't look like anything special at first. He was just a regular dude, wearing a gray hoodie with the strings hanging down. He had a black backpack slung over one shoulder, and his hands were in his pockets. He wasn't loud or fancy. He didn't have a big suitcase or a shiny watch. He was quiet, keeping to himself, walking with the crowd toward the plane. In his hand, he held his boarding pass, that little piece of paper that tells you where to sit. It was crumpled a little, like he'd been holding it tight. Jamal looked like any other passenger. Nothing special, right? That's what everyone thought. But here's the thing, they were wrong. So wrong. See, Jamal had a secret. Not a little secret, like hiding candy in your pocket. No, this was a big secret, huge. It was something he kept tucked away, like a surprise present you don't open until the perfect moment. Nobody on that plane, not the other passengers, not the workers, not even the pilot, had any idea who Jamal really was. He wasn't just some guy heading to Miami for a beach day. Oh no. He had something up his sleeve, something that would make this flight a story people would talk about for a long, long time. What was it? Well, you'll find out soon. I promise it's worth sticking around for. Picture the scene. The airport was buzzing. Kids were running around, chasing each other near the big windows. Moms and dads were yelling, "Stay close." People were eating snacks, pretzels, chips, maybe a sandwich from the food stand nearby. The air smelled like coffee and airplane fuel. Outside, workers in bright orange vests were loading bags onto the plane. The sun was shining through the giant glass walls, making everything feel warm and busy. It was just another day at Gate 17, or so it seemed. Jamal stood in line, waiting his turn. He didn't say much. He didn't need to. He just watched everyone with his dark brown eyes, taking it all in. The line moved slow, like a snail creeping along. People were showing their boarding passes to a lady at the desk. She had a big smile and said, "Welcome aboard," to everyone. When Jamal got to her, he handed over his pass. She looked at it, nodded, and said, "Have a nice flight." Jamal gave a small smile back, not too big, just enough, and kept walking. He didn't want anyone to notice him yet. Not yet. Now, let's talk about that plane for a second. It wasn't a giant one, like those huge planes that fly across the ocean. No, this was a smaller plane, the kind with 2 seats on one side and 3 on the other. It had a blue stripe down the side and the airline's name painted in white. The engines were humming, ready to go. Inside, it smelled like new carpet and a little bit like cleaning stuff. The seats were blue, too, with those tiny pillows that aren't very comfy. People were already sitting down, stuffing their bags under the seats or up in the bins above. It was crowded, but not too bad. Just a normal flight, or so they thought. Jamal stepped onto the plane, ducking his head a little because the door was low. He walked down the aisle, looking for his seat. His boarding pass said 12B. That's in the middle of the plane, not too close to the front, not too far in the back. Perfectly normal. He didn't rush. He didn't push past anyone. He just moved slow and easy, like he had all the time in the world. People glanced at him, but no one stared. Why would they? He was just a guy in a hoodie, right? Nothing to see here. Or so they thought. But here's where it gets good. Jamal wasn't nervous. Most people get a little jumpy when they fly. Maybe they don't like planes, or they're scared of being up so high. Not Jamal. He was cool as a cucumber. His hands weren't shaking. His face wasn't sweaty. He looked like he'd done this a million times before. Maybe he had. Or maybe he knew something no one else did. Something that made him so calm, so sure of himself. What was it? Oh, you're going to love this, I'll tell you soon, but not yet. We've got to build it up first. Let's set the stage a little more. The other passengers were all different kinds. There was an old lady with a big hat, clutching a purse full of candy. She kept offering it to the kid next to her, who was bouncing in his seat. There was a guy in a suit, typing fast on his laptop, looking all serious. A mom with a baby was trying to get the little one to stop crying. Everyone was busy with their own stuff. No one paid much attention to Jamal as he walked by. He was like a shadow just there, but not really noticed. That's how he liked it, at least for now. Outside, the sun was still bright, shining on the plane's wings. The workers finished loading the bags and waved to the pilot. The engines got louder, like a big growl. The plane was almost ready to go. People were buckling their seat belts, clicking them shut with little snaps. The flight attendants were walking up and down, checking everything. One of them was about to meet Jamal, and trust me, she had no idea what was coming. None of them did. Now, here's the big question for you: what would you do if someone judged you before even knowing who you are? Imagine you're just minding your own business, doing your thing, and someone decides they don't like you just because of how you look or where you're standing. Would you get mad? Would you stay quiet? Would you prove them wrong? Think about it, because that's exactly what's about to happen to Jamal. Someone's going to judge him, and it's going to start a chain of events that flips this whole flight upside down. Stick around, because you won't believe what's coming next. Let's zoom in on Jamal for a minute. He's 28 years old, with short hair and a little bit of a beard, not a big one, just enough to notice. His hoodie had a tiny hole near the sleeve, like he'd worn it a lot. His backpack was plain, no cool designs, just black and simple. He didn't have earbuds blasting music or a phone in his hand. He wasn't texting or scrolling like most people do. He was just there. Watching. Waiting. For what? Oh, you'll see. It's going to be wild. The line to board had been long, but Jamal didn't mind. He liked watching people. He saw the kid with the toy plane, zooming it through the air. He saw the old lady drop her candy and laugh as she picked it up. He saw the suit guy spill coffee on his tie and mutter something grumpy. Jamal noticed everything, but he didn't say a word. He was like a detective, picking up clues, storing them away. Why? Because he had a plan. A big one. And it was about to start. Back at gate 17, the lady at the desk was still smiling, waving people through. The sign above her said Flight 223 to Miami. The clock nearby showed 2:45 p.m. The plane was supposed to leave at 3 o'clock, so time was ticking. Jamal made it on board just in time, finding his spot in the middle of the crowd. He didn't stand out. He blended in. That was his trick, being invisible until the right moment. And that moment? It was coming fast. The plane's door was still open, letting in a little breeze from outside. The air felt warm and sticky, like summer in Atlanta always does. Jamal slid his backpack off his shoulder and held it in his lap as he found seat 12B. He didn't sit yet. He stood there for a second, looking around. The seat next to him was empty. Maybe no one would sit there. Or maybe someone would, and that someone would get a front row seat to the show that was about to begin. The flight attendants were busy now. One was helping the mom with the baby, handing her a blanket. Another was telling the suit guy to put his laptop away. And then there was Karen. Oh, Karen. She was the one who'd meet Jamal first. She had blonde hair tied up in a tight bun and a name tag pinned to her blue uniform. She looked tired, like she'd been working all day. Her eyes were sharp, though sharp and ready to spot trouble. Or so she thought. She didn't know trouble was already sitting in 12B, waiting for her. Jamal finally sat down. He put his backpack under the seat in front of him, nice and neat. He pulled out his boarding pass again, just to double check. Yep, 12B. He was in the right spot. He tucked the pass into his pocket and leaned back. The seat wasn't super comfy, but it was fine. He didn't care about that. He cared about what was coming next. His heart was steady, not racing at all. He was ready. Ready for what? You'll see soon, I promise it's going to be good. The plane was almost full now. People were settling in, flipping through magazines or staring out the tiny windows. The kid with the toy plane was making zooming noises, driving his mom crazy. The old lady unwrapped a piece of candy and popped it in her mouth. The suit guy was still grumbling about his coffee stain. Everyone was doing their thing, totally clueless about Jamal. They had no idea he was about to shake everything up. Outside, the workers shut the big cargo door under the plane. Clunk. It was loud enough to hear inside. The engines roared a little more, like they were waking up. The pilot's voice came over the speakers, crackly but clear. "Hey, folks, welcome to Flight 223 to Miami. We'll be taking off soon. Sit back and enjoy." People clapped a little, like they always do. Jamal didn't clap. He just sat there, hands in his lap, waiting. And that's when it started. Karen, the flight attendant, walked down the aisle. She was checking seats, making sure everyone was buckled in. She stopped near Jamal and looked at him. Really looked at him. Her eyes narrowed, like she didn't like what she saw. She didn't say anything yet, but you could tell she was about to. And that's where our story really kicks off. What's she going to say? What's Jamal going to do? Oh, it's going to be a ride. So, back to that question, what would you do if someone judged you before knowing who you are? Jamal's about to show us his answer. And trust me, it's going to be awesome. Stick with me, because this sunny afternoon at Gate 17 is about to turn into something no one, especially Karen, will ever forget. Jamal steps onto the plane, his sneakers squeaking a little on the floor. He's got his gray hoodie on, his backpack hanging off one shoulder. The plane isn't huge, just a regular one with blue seats and a narrow aisle. He looks at his boarding pass again, just to be sure. It says 12B, right in the middle of the plane. Not too close to the front, not too far in the back. Perfect. He walks down the aisle, counting the numbers above the seats. 10A, 10B, 10C. 11A, 11B, 11C, there it is, 12B. His spot. He stops, ready to sit down. The seat's empty, waiting for him. He's about to slide in when bam, trouble shows up fast. A flight attendant comes stomping over. Her name tag says Karen Phillips. She's got blonde hair pulled tight into a bun, and her face is red, like she's already mad about something. Her blue uniform is neat, but her eyes? They're sharp, like she's looking for a fight. She plants herself right in front of Jamal, hands on her hips. Her voice is loud and snappy, cutting through the hum of the plane. "Sir, you're in the wrong seat," she says, shouting almost. It's so loud that half the plane hears her. Heads turn. Eyes peek over seats. Everyone's watching now. Jamal doesn't flinch. He's cool, like a kid who knows he's got the right answer in class. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out his boarding pass, and holds it up. It's a little crumpled, but you can still read it clear as day. 12B. "Ma'am," he says, nice and calm, "this is my seat. Check it." His voice isn't loud. It's steady, like he's not scared at all. He looks at Karen with those dark brown eyes, waiting for her to take the pass and look. Simple, right? Just check it, and everything's fine. But Karen? Oh no. She's not having it? Not even a little bit. She doesn't reach for the boarding pass. She doesn't even glance at it. Instead, she rolls her eyes big time, like Jamal's some kid who spilled juice on her table. "I don't need to check anything," she says, her voice dripping with attitude. "You need to move now." That now is loud, sharp, like a teacher yelling at you to sit down. She points down the aisle, like she's telling him to march away. Her face gets even redder, and her bun wiggles a little, like it's mad too. The plane goes quiet for a second. Then the whispers start. People lean over to their neighbors, talking low. "What's going on?" one lady asks. "Did he steal a seat?" a guy mutters. A kid a few rows back giggles, thinking it's funny. Some passengers smirk, like they're watching a show. Others look uncomfortable, shifting in their seats, not sure what to think. An old man with glasses pulls his hat down, like he doesn't want to see this. A mom hugs her baby closer, whispering, "SHH, it's okay." Everyone's got their eyes on Jamal and Karen now. It's like a movie, and the popcorn's about to pop. But Jamal? He's still cool as ice. He doesn't yell back. He doesn't jump up. He just sits down in 12B, slow and easy, like he's got all the time in the world. His backpack slides under the seat in front of him nice and neat. He leans back, hands in his lap, and looks up at Karen. No smile, no frown, just calm. Like he knows something she doesn't. And trust me, he does. Karen's temper is heating up fast, like a pot of water boiling over. Her hands clench into fists. Her eyes get narrower. She's mad, really mad. But she doesn't know it yet, she's picking a fight with the wrong guy. Oh boy, is she in for a surprise. Let's paint the picture. The plane's still at the gate, not moving yet. The doors open, letting in a little warm air from outside. The engines are humming low, like a big cat purring. People are buckled in, waiting to fly to Miami. The seats are full almost. There's an empty spot next to Jamal in 12C, but no one's there yet. The aisle's clear, except for Karen standing there, glaring down at him. Her shadow falls over him, but Jamal doesn't budge. He's like a rock in a river, steady, while everything swirls around him. Karen takes a big breath, like she's about to yell again. I said move, she snaps, even louder this time. A few people gasp. The kid who giggled before stops, eyes wide. The old man with the hat shakes his head, muttering something under his breath. The lady next to him whispers, she's so rude. A guy in a suit a few rows up turns around, frowning. What's her problem, he says to his friend. The plane's buzzing now, not with engines, but with people talking, watching, waiting. Everyone's picking sides, even if they don't say it out loud. Jamal doesn't move. Not an inch. He looks at Karen, calm as ever, and says, "Ma'am, I'm in my seat 12B. It's mine." His voice is quiet but strong, like he's not asking, he's telling. He holds up the boarding pass again, giving her another chance. It's right there, plain as day, 12B, Jamal Carter. All she has to do is look. But Karen? She's too mad to care. She swats the air, like his pass is a fly buzzing around her. I don't care what that says, she yells. You're in the wrong spot, and I'm not playing games. Her voice echoes down the plane, bouncing off the walls. Now the tension's thick, like when you're waiting for a balloon to pop. People are leaning forward, craning their necks. A teenage girl a few rows back pulls out her phone, sneaky-like, trying to record it. Her brother whispers, "This is crazy." The mom with the baby looks worried, rocking her little one faster. The suit guy shuts his laptop, all ears now. Even the old lady with the big hat stops eating her candy, staring over her glasses. Everyone's hooked. What's Jamal going to do? What's Karen going to say next? It's a standoff, and the plane's holding its breath. Karen steps closer, so close her shoes almost touch Jamal's. You've got 3 seconds, she says, holding up 3 fingers. 1, 2, she's counting, like he's a little kid in trouble. Her face is bright red now, almost like a tomato. Her bun's starting to slip, a few hairs falling loose. She's losing it, big time. But Jamal? He's still sitting there, cool and calm. He doesn't count with her. He doesn't move. He just watches, like he's waiting for something. And he is. Oh, he is. The whispers get louder. She's nuts, a guy says behind Jamal. He's got the pass, why is she freaking out, a lady adds. Someone else mutters, maybe she doesn't like him. A few heads nod, like they're thinking the same thing. The teenage girl with the phone giggles, this is going viral. Her brother shushes her, but he's grinning too. The plane's alive with chatter, now low, but growing. People are mad, curious, confused. And Karen? She's making it worse every second. 3. Karen shouts, throwing her hands up. That's it? You're out. She turns and stomps toward the front of the plane, her shoes clacking loud on the floor. She's going for help, maybe the pilot, maybe security. Who knows? But she's done talking to Jamal. Or so she thinks. The passengers watch her go, mouths open. Can she do that? The suit guy asks his friend. I don't know, the friend says, but she's mad. The old man with the hat chuckles, like he's seen this before. The mom with the baby sighs, this is ridiculous. Jamal stays put. He doesn't chase her. He doesn't yell. He just sits there, hands resting on his knees. His hoodie's hood is down, showing his short hair and little beard. He looks peaceful. Like he's not worried at all. Why not? Because he knows something. Something big. Karen's storming off, thinking she's won, but she's wrong. She's so wrong. She's picking a fight with the wrong guy, and she's about to find out why. Let's zoom out a bit. The plane's still at gate 17, parked by the big airport building. Outside, the sun's shining, making the plane's wings sparkle. Workers in orange vests are standing around, chatting. They don't know what's happening inside. The engines are still humming, low and steady. The pilot's up front, probably checking stuff, not hearing the drama yet. The other flight attendants are busy, one's handing out water, another's closing a bin. They don't see Karen yet, but they will soon. Back inside, the tension's growing. It's like a rubber band stretching tighter and tighter. People are picking teams. Some think Karen's right, maybe Jamal's sneaky, they whisper. Others think she's mean, and Jamal's just a guy trying to sit down. He showed her the pass, a lady says, loud enough for others to hear. Yeah, what's her deal? A guy agrees. The teenage girl's still filming, hiding her phone behind her bag. This is gold, she whispers. Her brother nods, eyes glued to Jamal. Karen's almost at the front now. She's talking fast to another flight attendant, a guy with glasses. He looks confused, glancing back at Jamal. Karen's waving her arms, pointing, her voice sharp but too far to hear clearly. The guy with glasses shrugs, like he's not sure what to do. Karen's not happy about that. She stomps her foot, turning redder. She's a volcano, ready to blow. And Jamal? He's the calm before the storm. The clock's ticking. It's 2:55 p.m. 5 minutes until takeoff. The plane's supposed to leave soon, but this mess is slowing everything down. People are restless, tapping their feet, checking their watches. The kid a few rows back starts whining, "Are we going yet?" His mom shushes him, but she's annoyed too. The old lady with the hat pops another candy in her mouth, chewing slow, watching like it's a play. The suit guy mutters, "This is why I hate flying." Jamal hears it all, the whispers, the grumbles, the giggles. He doesn't react. He just sits there, cool as ever. His boarding pass is back in his pocket now. He doesn't need it out, he knows he's right. Karen's the one who's wrong, and she's about to dig herself a deeper hole. She doesn't see it yet, but she's walking right into a trap. Not a mean trap, not a trick, just the truth. And the truth? It's going to hit her hard. The tension's everywhere now. You can feel it in the air, like when a storm's coming and the sky gets heavy. People are on edge, waiting for the next move. Will Karen come back? Will Jamal say something? Will someone else step in? No one knows, not the passengers, not the crew, not even me yet. But one thing's clear, Karen's mad, Jamal's calm, and this fight's just getting started. She thinks she's in charge, but she's not. She's picking on the wrong guy, and it's going to cost her. So, here we are. Jamal's in 12B, sitting tall. Karen's up front, fuming. The plane's buzzing with whispers and stares. The clock's at 2:56 p.m. 4 minutes to go. What's next? Oh, it's going to be good. Really good. Karen doesn't know it, but she's about to learn something big. And Jamal? He's ready to show her. Stick around, this is where it gets wild. The plane's still parked at gate 17, not moving an inch. The engines hum low, like a sleepy dog breathing. People are buckled in, waiting to fly to Miami, but nobody's going anywhere yet. Karen, the flight attendant with the tight bun and red face, is losing it. She's standing in front of Jamal, who's sitting calm as can be in seat 12B. She's mad, really mad, and she's not backing down. "If you don't move," she yells, her voice loud and sharp, "I'll call security." She points at him, her finger shaking a little, like she's trying to scare him. Everyone hears her. Heads turn fast. Eyes get big. The plane's buzzing now, like a beehive poked with a stick. Jamal doesn't move. Not even a wiggle. He's like a statue, sitting there in his gray hoodie, hands resting on his knees. His backpack's tucked under the seat in front of him, all neat and quiet. Karen's yelling doesn't faze him. Instead, he does something cool. He reaches into his pocket, slow and easy, and pulls out his phone. It's a plain black one, nothing fancy. He holds it up, taps the screen, and starts recording. The little red dot blinks on, and he points it right at Karen. "Go ahead," he says, his voice steady like a rock. "I'd love for them to see this." He's not loud. He's not mean. He's just, sure. Like he knows something big is about to happen. Karen freezes. Just for a tiny second, her mouth hangs open, and her eyes blink fast. She wasn't expecting that. The phone's on, recording every word, every move. She's caught, and she knows it. But she doesn't back off. Nope. She huffs big and loud, like a horse snorting, and spins around. Her shoes clack on the floor as she marches to the front of the plane. Her bun wobbles, a few hairs slipping out. She's mad, but now she's nervous too. You can see it in how fast she walks, like she's running away from something. What's she going to do? Call security? Tell the pilot? Oh, she's in a mess, and it's getting messy. Meanwhile, the plane's alive with people talking. Whispers zip back and forth like little birds. A guy sitting in 13C, right behind Jamal, leans over. He's got a baseball cap on backward and a bag of chips in his hand. "Hey, man," he says, keeping his voice low, "why's she so mad?" He's curious, crunching a chip as he waits for an answer. Jamal turns his head just a little, still holding the phone steady. He gives a small smile, not a big grin, just a tiny one, and says, "She'll find out soon enough." His voice is quiet, but there's something in it. Something sneaky. Something that makes you go, huh. The chip guy looks confused, his eyebrows scrunching up. "What's that mean?" he whispers to himself, but Jamal doesn't say more. He turns back, keeping that phone pointed forward. You can feel it now, something big is coming. It's like when you're watching a storm roll in, and the air gets heavy. The chip guy sits back, still munching, but his eyes are glued to Jamal. He's not the only one. People all over the plane are watching. The whispers get louder, like a wave building up. "What's he recording for?" a lady in a pink shirt asks her friend. "Maybe he's famous," the friend guesses, shrugging. "Or maybe she's wrong," a kid pipes up from a few rows back. His mom shushes him, but he's grinning. Everyone's picking sides now. Some think Karen's right, Jamal's trouble. Others think she's mean, and he's just a guy in a hoodie. Who's right? Oh, you'll see soon. Karen's up front now, talking fast to another flight attendant. This one's a guy with glasses and a friendly face. He's holding a clipboard, checking stuff off. Karen's waving her arms, pointing back at Jamal. Her voice is loud, but the plane's too noisy to hear every word. "You catch bits, wrong seat, and won't move, and security." The glasses guy looks puzzled. He glances down the aisle at Jamal, who's still sitting there, phone up, cool as ice. The glasses guy scratches his head, like he's not sure what to do. Karen stomps her foot, mad he's not jumping to help. "Do something," she snaps. He nods slow, but he doesn't move yet. Karen's fuming, steam practically coming out her ears. Back at 12B, Jamal's steady. His phone's still recording, the little red dot blinking like an eye. He's not scared. He's not mad. He's just waiting. For what? That's the big question. The chip guy leans over again. "You're brave, man," he says, crunching another chip. "She's nuts." Jamal doesn't turn this time, but his smile gets a tiny bit bigger. "Thanks," he says, soft and quick. The chip guy nods, like they're buddies now. He sits back, watching, waiting too. Everyone's waiting. The plane's like a pot of soup, bubbling up, ready to spill over. The whispers turn into chatter. "He's got a phone out," a teenage girl in 15A says, peeking over her seat. She's got earbuds dangling around her neck. "He's recording her," her brother adds, eyes wide. "Cool." They're excited, like it's a game. The lady in pink pulls out her own phone, sneaky-like, trying to snap a picture. "This is wild," she whispers to her friend. The old man with the hat, sitting in 10C, chuckles low. "She's digging her own hole," he mutters, adjusting his glasses. The mom with the baby rocks her little one, but she's watching too, her lips tight. Everyone's hooked now. Something's happening, and they can't look away. Karen's still up front, arguing with the glasses guy. He's saying something back, calm and quiet, but she's not listening. She throws her hands up, like she's done with him, and grabs a walkie-talkie from the wall. It's one of those black ones with buttons and a little antenna. She presses it to her mouth and talks fast. Gate 17, we need security, she says, her voice crackling through the plane. People gasp. Security, the chip guy says, almost dropping his chips. For real. The teenage girl giggles, this is like a movie. Her brother nods, totally. The plane's buzzing louder now, whispers, gasps, little laughs. It's chaos, but fun chaos. Jamal hears it all. He's still recording, phone steady in his hand. He doesn't turn around. He doesn't talk to anyone else. He just sits there, cool and quiet, like a superhero waiting for the right moment. Karen thinks she's winning, she's calling security, she's in charge. But she's wrong. She's stepping into a mess she can't clean up. Jamal's got something up his sleeve, and it's not just his phone. What is it? Oh, it's coming. It's coming fast. The clock says 2:57 p.m. 3 minutes until takeoff, or it was supposed to be. The plane's still at the gate, door open, warm air drifting in. Outside, workers in orange vests are chatting, clueless about the drama inside. The pilot's voice hasn't come on again, he's probably busy up front. The other flight attendants are peeking now, whispering to each other. What's Karen doing? One asks. She's freaking out, another says, shaking her head. They don't step in yet, they're watching, just like everyone else. The chip guy can't sit still. He leans over again. You're not scared? He asks Jamal, his voice all wobbly. Jamal shakes his head, just a little. Nope, he says, simple and sure. The chip guy's eyes get big. Whoa, he says, sitting back. You're tough. He crunches another chip, louder this time, like he's nervous. The lady in pink snaps another picture, hiding her phone quick. He's so calm, she whispers. Her friend nods, too calm. What's he up to? Good question. Jamal's up to something, and it's making everyone wonder. Karen's walkie-talkie crackles. A voice comes through, deep and fuzzy. Security's on the way, it says. Karen smirks, like she's won a prize. She turns back toward Jamal, holding the walkie-talkie tight. You hear that? She calls down the aisle. They're coming for you. Her voice is loud, bouncing off the plane's walls. People gasp again. The teenage girl claps her hands, yes. Her brother shushes her, but he's grinning too. The old man with the hat shakes his head, she's too much. The mom with the baby sighs, this is crazy. Jamal doesn't flinch. He keeps recording, phone up, red dot blinking. Good, he says, loud enough for Karen to hear. Let them come. His voice is still steady, like he's not worried at all. Karen's smirk fades a little. She wasn't expecting that. She thought he'd jump up, beg, maybe run. But nope, he's sitting there, cool as ever. The chip guy whistles low. Dude, he says, you're unreal. The lady in pink snaps another picture, whispering, he's not scared at all. Her friend nods, something's up. The plane's buzzing like crazy now. People are talking louder, leaning over seats, pointing. He's recording it all, the teenage girl says, bouncing a little. He's got proof, her brother adds. Proof of what? The chip guy mutters, but he's hooked too. The old man with the hat pulls out a little notebook and starts writing, like he's keeping score. The mom with the baby rocks faster, eyes darting between Jamal and Karen. Everyone's on edge, waiting for security, waiting for Jamal's next move. Karen stomps back down the aisle, walkie-talkie in hand. She stops a few rows from Jamal, glaring at him. You're done, she says, her voice shaking a little. She's trying to sound tough, but something's off, she's not as sure anymore. Jamal looks at her, calm and quiet. He doesn't say anything, just keeps that phone up, recording every second. Karen's face twists, like she's mad and confused at the same time. Stop that, she snaps, pointing at the phone. Jamal doesn't stop. He just smiles that tiny, sneaky smile again. The chip guy leans over one more time. She's toast, huh, he whispers. Jamal doesn't turn, but he nods just a little. Yeah, he says, soft and sure. The chip guy's jaw drops. Whoa, he says, sitting back fast. The lady in pink gasps, did he say yeah? Her friend nods, he knows something. The teenage girl squeals, this is epic. Her brother shushes her again, but he's laughing now. The old man with the hat writes faster, grinning like he's in on a secret. The clock hits 2:58 p.m. 2 minutes left or there would have been. Security's coming, Karen's fuming, and Jamal's recording. The plane's a whirlwind of noise, whispers, gasps, little laughs, chatter. People are picking sides big time now. He's right, she's wrong, the chip guy says, loud enough for others to hear. She's too mean, the lady in pink agrees. He's cool, the teenage girl cheers. But some still mutter, maybe he's tricky. Maybe he's lying. It's split, but the tide's turning. Jamal's winning them over, one calm move at a time. Karen's in deep now. She's called security, she's yelled, she's stomped. She thinks she's got this. But she doesn't. She's stepping into a mess, a big, sticky mess she can't clean up. Jamal's got something ready, something huge. That phone's not just recording, it's holding a key. A key to what? Oh, it's almost here. The whispers are loud, the tension's thick, and something big's about to drop. Jamal's cool, Karen's not, and the plane's on fire with excitement. What's next? You won't believe it, stay tuned. The plane's a wild place now. Karen's standing a few rows from Jamal, her walkie-talkie clutched tight in her hand. Her face is redder than a cherry, and her bun's a mess, hairs sticking out like little spikes. She's glaring at Jamal, who's still sitting in 12B, cool as a popsicle on a hot day. His phone's up, that little red dot blinking, recording everything. The air's thick with excitement, people whispering, giggling, gasping. It's like a playground at recess, everyone buzzing about what's going to happen next. Security's on the way, Karen's mad, and Jamal? He's got that tiny smile, like he's holding a secret bigger than a birthday surprise. The clock's at 2:58 p.m. 2 minutes until the plane was supposed to take off, but nobody's thinking about Miami anymore. They're all watching the show Karen vs. Jamal. The teenage girl in 15A is bouncing in her seat, her earbuds swinging. He's not even scared, she says, loud enough for her brother to elbow her. Quiet, he hisses, but he's grinning too. Their mom looks over, annoyed, but she's peeking at Jamal too. The chip guy in 13C crunches another chip, his eyes darting between Karen and Jamal. She's gonna lose it, he mutters, crumbs falling on his shirt. The lady in pink, a few rows up, whispers to her friend, he's too calm, something's up. Her friend nods fast, oh yeah, big time. Karen takes a step closer to Jamal, her shoes clacking loud on the floor. You think you're smart, she snaps, her voice shaky but mean. She's trying to sound tough, but her hands are trembling a little. She points at the phone again. Turn that off now, she yells. People jump a little, her voice is so sharp it cuts through the noise. The old man with the hat stops writing in his notebook and looks up, one eyebrow raised. The mom with the baby gasps, holding her little one tighter. The teenage girl giggles, she's freaking out. Her brother nods, totally. But Jamal? He doesn't turn it off. He doesn't even blink. He just keeps that phone up, steady as a rock, and says, no, one word, simple, quiet, strong. Karen's eyes go wide, like she can't believe it. What? She sputters, stepping even closer. You heard me, Jamal says, still calm. No, his voice is like a whisper but hits like a shout. The plane goes quiet for a second, just a tiny second, then explodes with chatter. Did he say no? The chip guy says, almost choking on a chip. He did, the lady in pink squeaks, snapping another sneaky picture. Oh wow, the teenage girl cheers, clapping her hands. Karen's losing it now. Her face twists up, like she's about to scream or cry or both. You're in big trouble, she yells, waving the walkie-talkie like a toy sword. Security's coming, and you're out of here. She's so mad her voice cracks a little, and her bun flops to one side. She looks silly now, not scary. The chip guy laughs quiet at first, then louder. She's a mess, he says, slapping his knee. The old man with the hat chuckles too, writing in his notebook again. The teenage girl films it all with her phone, whispering, "This is gold." Her brother nods, "Best flight ever." Jamal stays cool. His phone's still up, recording every crazy second. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't yell. He just watches Karen, that tiny smile growing a bit more. He's not scared of security. He's not scared of her. Why not? Because he's got something huge. The chip guy leans over again, chips forgotten. "Man, you're not even sweating," he says, amazed. Jamal shrugs just a little and says, "No reason to." The chip guy's jaw drops. "No reason," he repeats, shaking his head. "You're wild." The plane's buzzing louder now. People are talking over each other, voices mixing into a big hum. "He said no," the lady in pink tells her friend, who's nodding like crazy. "He's got guts," the friend says. "Or a plan," the lady adds, eyes narrow. The old man with the hat mutters, "Smart kid, still scribbling." The mom with the baby looks worried but curious, rocking slower now. The teenage girl's still filming, her brother leaning over to see. "He's a legend," he says. "Totally," she agrees. Everyone's picking Jamal's side more and more. Karen's losing them fast. Up front, the glasses guy, the other flight attendant, walks over to Karen. He's calm, holding his clipboard tight. "What's going on?" he asks, his voice soft but clear. Karen spins around, almost hitting him with the walkie-talkie. "He won't move," she yells, pointing at Jamal. "He's recording me, and he's rude." Her voice is high and squeaky now, like a mad cartoon character. The glasses guy looks down the aisle at Jamal, who's still sitting there, phone up. He frowns a little, like he's thinking hard. "Did you check his pass?" he asks Karen. She freezes again just for a second and snaps, "I don't need to." "He's wrong." The glasses guy tilts his head. "But, did you check?" he asks again, slower this time. Karen's face goes even redder, "If that's possible." "No," she shouts, stomping her foot. "He needs to go." The glasses guy sighs, rubbing his forehead. "Okay," but he starts, but Karen cuts him off. "Security's coming," she says, holding up the walkie-talkie like it's proof. The glasses guy nods, but he doesn't look happy. He glances at Jamal again, then back at Karen. "All right," he says, quiet and unsure. He steps back, letting her take charge. "Big mistake." The walkie-talkie crackles again. "Security's at the gate," the deep voice says. Karen smirks, turning to Jamal. "You're finished," she calls down the aisle, loud and proud. People gasp louder this time. "They're here," the chip guy says, peeking out the window. Sure enough, two guys in black uniforms are walking up the jet bridge, the tunnel thing that connects the plane to the airport. They've got radios and serious faces. The plane's going nuts now, everyone's talking at once. "They're coming," the teenage girl squeals. "This is epic," her brother says. "Oh no," the mom with the baby whispers, hugging her little one. Jamal doesn't move. His phone's still up, recording it all. He hears Karen, hears the walkie-talkie, hears the gasps. He's not scared. He's not even surprised. He just sits there, cool and steady, like he's watching a movie he already knows the ending to. The chip guy leans over one more time. "Security's here, man," he says, his voice all shaky. "You okay?" Jamal nods just a tiny nod and says, "Yeah. It's fine." The chip guy stares, chips falling on the floor. "Fine," he repeats. "You're nuts in a good way." The lady in pink snaps another picture, whispering fast. "He's not worried at all." Her friend nods, "He's got something up his sleeve." The old man with the hat writes faster, muttering, "Here it comes." The teenage girl's filming with both hands now, giggling like crazy. "Security's gonna flip," she says. Her brother nods, "Totally." The mom with the baby bites her lip, watching Jamal close. Everyone's on edge. Security's almost here, Karen's smirking, and Jamal's calm. Too calm. The jet bridge door creaks open wider, and the security guys step in. Their big one's got a buzz cut, the other's got a mustache. They look around, radios crackling. Karen rushes over, pointing at Jamal. Him, she yells. He's the problem. The security guys nod, walking down the aisle slow and steady. People lean out to see, holding their breath. The chip guy whispers, "Oh man, oh man." The lady in pink hides her phone, eyes huge. The teenage girl films faster, "Here we go." Her brother shushes her, but he's bouncing too. Jamal sees them coming. His phone's still up, red dot blinking. He doesn't stand. He doesn't hide. He just waits, that tiny smile still there. The security guys stop at his row buzz cut on the left, mustache on the right. "Sir," buzz cut says, his voice deep, "we need to talk." Jamal looks up, calm as ever. "Sure," he says, simple and easy. The security guys blink, like they weren't expecting that. Karen's behind them, smirking big. "Get him out," she says, crossing her arms. The plane's silent now, dead silent. Everyone's watching. The chip guy holds a chip halfway to his mouth, frozen. The lady in pink clutches her friend's arm. The teenage girl's phone shakes a little, but she keeps filming. The old man with the hat stops writing, pen hovering. The mom with the baby holds her breath. It's the moment. Security's here, Karen's winning, and Jamal's, what? What's he doing? What's he got? It's big, it's close, and it's coming. The buzz cut guy leans down. "Can you step outside, sir?" he asks, polite but firm. Jamal nods just a little and says, "Okay. But watch this first." He turns his phone a bit, showing the screen. The security guys squint, leaning in. Karen's smirk fades fast. "What's that?" she snaps, stepping closer. Jamal doesn't answer her, he just keeps the phone up, letting it play. "What's on it?" "Oh, it's huge. It's wild. And it's about to change everything." Karen's in a mess now, a big, sticky, crazy mess. Stick around, it's getting good. 11 minutes have passed since Karen first yelled at Jamal. That's not long, just 11 little minutes, but oh boy, it feels like forever on this plane. The doors still open at gate 17, letting in warm air from outside. The engines hum low, like they're bored waiting. People are sitting in their seats, eyes big, mouths quiet, watching everything. Karen's up front, smirking like she's the queen of the plane. Jamal's in 12B, cool as ever, his phone still up, recording it all. Security's there too, two big guys with radios, standing near Jamal, looking serious. The plane's buzzing with tension, like a balloon ready to pop. And then bam, everything changes. A man steps on board. He's not loud or fast, he's calm, steady, like he owns the place. He's wearing a fancy suit, dark blue with a shiny tie. His shoes click on the floor as he walks in. He's got a serious look on his face, not mad, not happy, just important. His hair's neat, and he's carrying a little black folder under his arm. Who is he? Nobody knows yet, but he's not a regular passenger, that's for sure. The security guys turn to look at him, stepping back a little. Karen sees him and her smirk gets bigger. "See," she says, pointing at Jamal. "I told you." She's loud, proud, thinking this guy's here to back her up. Oh, she's so wrong. The man in the suit doesn't even glance at Karen. Not a peek. His eyes are locked on Jamal, like he's the only person on the plane. He walks down the aisle, slow and sure, past the whispering passengers, past the chip guy, past the teenage girl with her phone. Everyone's watching, holding their breath. The lady in pink leans over. "Who's that?" she whispers. Her friend shrugs. "Dunno, but he's big." The old man with the hat stops writing, his pen frozen. The mom with the baby stares, rocking slow. The security guys shift, like they're not sure what's happening. Karen's still smirking, arms crossed, waiting for her win. The man stops at 12B. He looks down at Jamal, who's sitting there, cool and quiet. The phone's still up, red dot blinking. Jamal doesn't move, he just looks back, steady as a tree. The man nods, like they know each other, and says, "Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry for the trouble. We've got this handled." His voice is deep, clear, and kind. "Mr. Carter? Wait, what? The plane goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Every eye's on Jamal now. Karen's smirk freezes, stuck on her face like glue. The chip guy gasps, "Mr. Carter." The teenage girl squeals, "What?" Karen's jaw drops, literally drops, like in a cartoon. Her mouth hangs open, and her eyes get huge. She blinks fast, like she's trying to wake up from a dream. The passengers are quiet, but you can feel it, they're shocked. The lady in pink whispers, "Did he say sorry?" Her friend nods, to him. The old man with the hat chuckles low, "Oh boy." The security guys look at each other, confused. The buzzcut one scratches his head, and the mustache one mutters, "Huh." Nobody knows what's going on except the man in the suit. And Jamal. The man turns to Karen now. His face is still serious, but his eyes are sharp, like a teacher who's caught you cheating. "Karen," he says, slow and firm, "you're done." Done. What does that mean? Karen blinks again, her mouth still open. "What?" she squeaks, her voice all wobbly. The man doesn't stop. He keeps going, and his next words hit like a thunderbolt, loud, bright, and boom. "You've just yelled at the airline's new diversity consultant," he says, "hired to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen." Boom. There it is, the truth, big and wild, crashing down like a wave. The plane explodes not with noise, but with shock. Everyone's frozen, staring. The chip guy drops his bag of chips, crumbs spilling everywhere. "No way," he yells, loud enough for the whole plane to hear. The teenage girl screams, "He's a what?" Her brother grabs her phone, "Rewind that." The lady in pink gasps so hard she almost falls out of her seat. "Diversity consultant," her friend says, eyes wide. The old man with the hat laughs big and hearty, slapping his knee. "I knew it," he says, waving his notebook. The mom with the baby smiles, like she's proud. Even the security guys step back, jaws dropping too. Jamal wasn't just a passenger. Oh no, he was way more. He's the airline's new diversity consultant. What's that? It's a big job, someone who watches how people are treated, makes sure everyone's fair and nice, no matter who they are. Jamal was here to check the crew, to see if they'd be mean or rude. And Karen? She didn't just mess up, she failed the test big time. She yelled, she judged, she wouldn't listen. And now? The truth's out, and it's hitting her hard. Karen's face goes white like snow, like paper, like she's seen a ghost. Her smirk's gone, wiped away. "No," she whispers, shaking her head. "No, no, no." She steps back, bumping into the glasses guy, who's just standing there, stunned. But, she stammers, her voice tiny now. The man in the suit, he's the airline supervisor, the boss of the bosses, looks at her, calm but firm. "You heard me," he says. "You're done, Karen. This isn't how we treat people." His words are like a hammer, nailing her mistake down tight. The passengers can't believe it. The chip guy's laughing now, clapping his hands. "She's toast," he says, crumbs flying. The teenage girl's filming fast, this is going viral. Her brother nods, big time. The lady in pink claps too, he tricked her. Her friend cheers, good for him. The old man with the hat writes so fast his pen's a blur. "Best twist ever," he mutters, grinning. The mom with the baby smiles bigger, whispering to her little one, "See? Be nice." The security guys look at each other, then at the supervisor. Sir," Buzzcut says, unsure. The supervisor waves them off. "You're not needed," he says. "Go back." They nod quick and shuffle out, radio's quiet. Jamal finally lowers his phone. The red dot blinks off. He tucks it in his pocket, slow and easy, like it's no big deal. He looks up at the supervisor and nods just a little. "Thanks," he says, his voice still calm. The supervisor nods back, "No, thank you, Mr. Carter. We'll talk later." He turns to the passengers, raising his hands. "Folks," he says loud, "sorry for the delay. We're fixing this. Sit tight." People cheer, quiet at first, then louder. "Yeah," the chip guy yells. "Go Jamal," the teenage girl adds. Claps bounce around the plane like popcorn popping. Karen's still standing there, Frozen. Her hands shake, and her bun's falling apart. But I didn't know, she says, her voice breaking. The supervisor looks at her, not mean, just done. That's the point, he says. You should have checked. You should have listened. He points to the door. Go pack your stuff. You're off this flight. Karen's eyes get wet, but she doesn't argue. She turns, slow and wobbly, and walks toward the front. Her shoes don't clack now, they drag. She's outdone, finished. The passengers watch her go, some clapping, some whispering, some just staring. The supervisor stays by Jamal. Mr. Carter, he says quieter, you okay? Jamal nods, yeah, I'm good. He's still cool, still steady. The supervisor smiles a small one and pats his shoulder. Great work, he says. We needed this. Jamal doesn't brag. He just nods again, like it's all normal. But it's not normal, it's huge. He was testing Karen, testing the crew, and she flunked so bad she's leaving the plane. The plane's alive now, not with tension, but with excitement. People are talking fast, laughing, cheering. He's the diversity guy, the chip guy tells the lady next to him. She yelled at the wrong dude. The lady in pink still clapping, he's awesome. Her friend nods, she's so fired. The teenage girl's rewatching her video, this is gonna get 1 million likes. Her brother high-fives her, totally. The old man with the hat closes his notebook, satisfied. Justice, he says, tipping his hat to Jamal. The mom with the baby smiles at him, like he's a hero. The truth's out, and it's wild. Jamal wasn't just some guy in a hoodie, he was the airline's secret weapon. Hired to watch, to listen, to make sure nobody's mean or unfair. Karen thought he was nothing, but he's everything. She judged him fast, yelled loud, and now she's walking off the plane, head down, while Jamal sits tall. The supervisor's here, security's gone, and the passengers are buzzing. 11 minutes of yelling, and boom, the big reveal hits like thunder. Karen failed, Jamal won, and this flight. It's one nobody's forgetting. The clock's at 3:01 p.m. now, takeoff's late, but nobody cares. The supervisor waves to the glasses guy. Close the door, he says. Let's get going. The glasses guy nods quick, rushing to the front. The passengers settle down, still whispering, still smiling. Jamal leans back in 12B, hands in his lap. His backpack's still under the seat, his hoodie's still on. He's calm, quiet, like nothing happened. But everything happened, and it's just the start. Karen's out, Jamal's in, and the plane's ready to fly. What a twist. What a boom. What a day. The plane's still at gate 17, buzzing with excitement. The man in the suit, the airline supervisor, stands tall by Jamal's seat, 12B. His serious face means business. Karen's a few rows away, her bun a mess, her face white like a ghost. She's just heard the big truth: Jamal's the airline's new diversity consultant, and she yelled at him big time. The passengers are quiet, watching, waiting. The supervisor doesn't waste a second. He turns to Karen, his voice strong and clear. Karen, he says, pack your things. You're off this flight and off the job. Boom. It's like a door slamming shut. Done. Over. Finished. Karen's eyes get huge, like saucers. Her mouth opens, but nothing comes out at first. Then she stammers, "W what? No. You can't." Her voice is shaky, all wobbly like a toy running out of batteries. She steps forward, hands waving. "I didn't know. I didn't mean it," she says, trying to argue. But the supervisor's not having it. He shakes his head, slow and firm. "Doesn't matter," he says. "You yelled. You judged. You didn't check. That's not how we work here." His words are simple, but they hit hard, like a teacher saying, "No more chances." The passengers watch, eyes wide. The chip guy in 13C grins, crumbs all over his shirt. "She's outta here," he whispers, loud enough for the lady next to him to hear. She nods, smiling big. The teenage girl in 15A giggles, still holding her phone. "Bye-bye, Karen," she says, waving a little. Her brother laughs, "She's so done." The lady in pink claps her hands quiet, like she's at a show. Good, she whispers to her friend. The old man with the hat nods, writing slow in his notebook. Fair's fair, he mutters. The mom with the baby rocks her little one, smiling soft. Everyone's happy. Karen's getting what she deserves. Karen's still arguing, but it's no use. I've been here 5 years, she says, her voice cracking. You can't fire me like this. The supervisor stays calm, hands in his pockets. We can, he says. And we are. You broke the rules, big ones. He points to the door, where the jet bridge waits. Go pack. Now. Karen's face turns red again, not mad red, but embarrassed red. Her shoulders slump, like all the air's gone out of her. She's got nothing left to say. It's over, really over. Then the door creaks, and 2 security guys step back in buzz cut and mustache, the same ones from before. They're big, with black uniforms and radios that crackle. The supervisor nods to them. Take her out, he says, simple and quick. Karen gasps, no, but it's too late. Buzzcut steps forward, gentle but firm. Ma'am, let's go, he says. Mustache stands by the door, holding it open. Karen shakes her head, this isn't fair. But nobody's listening, not the supervisor, not security, not the passengers. She messed up, and now she's leaving. The security guys move closer. Karen grabs her bag from a bin up front, it's a little blue one with a zipper. Her hands shake as she pulls it down. You'll hear from me, she says, trying to sound tough, but her voice is weak. The supervisor doesn't even look at her, he's done talking. Buzzcut takes her arm, soft but steady. Come on, he says. Karen pulls away a little, but she knows it's no use. She turns and walks toward the door, her shoes dragging slow on the floor. Her face is burning red, hot, embarrassed. She keeps her head down, not looking at anyone. The passengers watch her go. It's quiet at first, just the sound of her shoes and the hum of the engines. Then someone claps soft, like a whisper. It's the chip guy, slapping his hands together. Yeah, he says, grinning. Then the lady in pink joins in, clapping louder. Good riddance, she says. The teenage girl and her brother clap too, fast and happy. Bye, Karen, they cheer together. The old man with the hat taps his notebook, clapping slow. The mom with the baby smiles, clapping with one hand. Soon, half the plane's clapping quiet but strong, like rain starting to fall. They're happy, really happy. Justice is here, and it feels good. Karen steps onto the jet bridge, security right behind her. The door swings shut, clunk, and she's gone. The plane's lighter now, like a big weight's lifted off. The supervisor turns to the passengers, raising his hands. Folks, he says loud, sorry for all that. We're good now. Let's get to Miami. People cheer, not loud, but warm. Yeah, the chip guy yells, pumping his fist. About time, the lady in pink adds. The teenage girl claps again, best flight ever. Her brother nods, totally. The old man with the hat smiles, well done. Jamal's still in 12B, calm as ever. He's sitting there, hands in his lap, hoodie on, like nothing happened. But everything happened and he made it happen. He doesn't cheer. He doesn't laugh. He just stays cool, like a superhero after saving the day. The supervisor looks at him, smiling a little. Mr. Carter, he says quiet, you're the real deal. Jamal nods just a tiny nod and says, thanks. That's it? No big words, no showing off. He's chill, steady, awesome. The glasses guy, the other flight attendant, rushes to the front. Doors closed, he calls to the pilot. The engines get louder, rumbling like a big truck waking up. The plane shakes a little, ready to move. People settle into their seats, buckling up again. The chip guy picks up his spilled chips, still grinning. Man, that was wild, he says to the lady next to him. She laughs, best story I've got. The lady in pink fixes her hair, I'm telling everyone about this. Her friend nods, me too. The teenage girl's watching her video, giggling. 1 million likes, easy. Her brother high-fives her, we're famous now. The plane starts rolling slow at first, then faster. Outside, the workers in orange vests wave as it pulls away from the gate. The sun's still shining, making the wings glow. Inside, the passengers are buzzing, but happy. The old man with the hat puts his notebook away, tipping his hat to Jamal one more time. "Good kid," he says soft. The mom with the baby looks at Jamal too, smiling big. "Thank you," she whispers, even though he can't hear. Everyone's feeling it. Jamal fixed something bad, and it's good now. Later, after the plane lands in Miami, the airline puts out a statement. It's like a big note they send to everyone. It says, "We don't tolerate disrespect. Mr. Carter's work starts now, and we're making changes." Simple, strong, clear. They mean it. No more Karens yelling at people for no reason. Jamal's job, diversity consultant, is to watch, to help, to make sure everyone's treated nice. He's the guy who checks the rules, and he's just getting started. The statement goes everywhere, on phones, on TV, in papers. People read it and nod. "Good," they say. "About time." Back on the plane, after it lands, people grab their bags. The chip guy walks by Jamal, giving him a thumbs up. "You're the man," he says, grinning. Jamal smiles, small but real, and nods back. The lady in pink stops too. "You're awesome," she says. Her friend adds, "Yeah, thanks." Jamal just says, "No problem," calm as always. The teenage girl and her brother rush over, phones out. "Can we get a picture?" they ask, bouncing. Jamal shrugs, "Sure." They snap a quick one, giggling. "You're a hero," the girl says. He smiles a little bigger, "Just doing my job." The old man with the hat walks by slow, tipping his hat again. "Keep it up, son," he says, like a proud grandpa. Jamal nods, "Will do." The mom with the baby stops last, her little one asleep now. "You made today better," she says soft. Jamal looks at her, kind and quiet. "Glad to hear that," he says. She smiles and walks off, happy. Everyone's leaving the plane, but they're not the same. They're better, because of Jamal. The plane's empty now, except for Jamal and the supervisor. They stand by 12B, talking quiet. "You did great," the supervisor says, holding his little black folder. "First day, and you nailed it?" Jamal shrugs, "It's what I'm here for." The supervisor laughs a small, happy laugh. "Well, you're starting big," he says. "We're fixing things starting with her." He means Karen, and Jamal knows it. He doesn't gloat, he doesn't need to. He just nods and says, "It's about time people learn to look beyond what they see." Simple words, but big. Really big. The supervisor pats his shoulder. "Let's go," he says. They walk off the plane together, down the jet bridge, into the Miami airport. Outside, the sun setting, orange and pink in the sky. People are talking about Jamal already, on phones, in lines, at home. "Did you hear?" they say. "That guy on the plane, he showed her." The story's spreading fast, like a fire in dry grass. Jamal doesn't care about fame, he cares about fair. And today? Fair one. Karen's gone off the job, out of the airline. She's somewhere now, maybe packing her stuff, maybe mad, maybe sad. But she's not here. The plane's quiet, parked at a new gate. The crew's new too. No more yelling, no more judging. The airline's serious, they're changing, and Jamal's leading it. He's not loud, he's not flashy. He's just Jamal, calm, cool, and right. The passengers cheer him in their hearts, even as they go home. Justice is served, and it tastes sweet like candy after a long day. The clock in Miami says 4:15 p.m. The flight's over, but the story's just starting. Jamal's got more work to do, more planes, more people, more fairness. He doesn't say much, but he doesn't have to. His actions talk loud, louder than Karen's yells, louder than anything. People learn today, don't judge fast, don't be mean. Look deeper. See more. And Jamal? He's making sure they do one flight at a time. And there you have it, friends, 11 minutes that flipped the script. That's all it took, just 11 little minutes on a plane at gate 17 to turn everything upside down. Jamal Carter, our guy in the gray hoodie, didn't need to yell loud or fight hard. He didn't jump up or wave his hands or make a big fuss. Nope. He stayed cool, calm, and quiet, like a superhero who doesn't need a cape. He let the truth do all the talking for him, and wow, did it talk loud. Sometimes, the quietest person on the plane or in the room, or at school has the loudest impact. Isn't that neat? Let's think about it together. Picture it one more time. Jamal sitting in 12B, minding his own business. Karen's yelling, pointing, stomping around like she's the boss of everything. The passengers are watching, whispering, picking sides. Security's coming, the supervisor's stepping in, and boom, the big truth hits. Jamal's not just some guy, he's the airline's new diversity consultant, here to make sure people are nice and fair. Karen didn't see that coming, did she? She judged him fast, thought he was nothing special. But he was special, super special, and he changed the whole game without even raising his voice. That's power, friends. Real power. So, what's the lesson here? It's a good one, so listen up. Don't judge someone before you know their story. That's it, simple, but big. Karen looked at Jamal and saw a guy in a hoodie with a backpack. She didn't ask questions. She didn't check his boarding pass. She didn't wonder who he might be. She just decided he was wrong, and she got mad. But she didn't know him not one bit. If she'd stopped, looked closer, listened a little, she'd have seen the truth. Jamal wasn't ordinary, he was amazing. The ones who seem regular, quiet, or small might just be the ones who change everything. How cool is that? Think about your own life for a second. Do you ever see someone at school, at the park, in your class and think, oh, they're just this or that? Maybe they're quiet, or they wear old sneakers, or they don't talk much. Do you judge them fast, like Karen did? Maybe you think they're not important or they can't do big things. But what if they're like Jamal? What if they've got a secret, a good one, like being super smart, or really kind, or brave in a way you can't see yet? You don't know until you look closer. That's the trick, don't guess, don't judge. Wait and see. You might be surprised. Let's imagine it. Say there's a kid in your class who sits in the back. He doesn't talk a lot, doesn't raise his hand, just draws in his notebook all day. You might think, oh, he's boring, or he's shy. But what if he's drawing comics, awesome ones, and one day he shows them, and everyone loves them? Or maybe there's a girl who's always alone at recess, kicking a ball by herself. You might think, she's weird, or she doesn't have friends. But what if she's practicing to be a soccer star, and she's really good, like, win the game good? You don't know their story until you ask. Jamal taught us that, didn't he? He was quiet, but he was a game changer. Karen learned it the hard way. She judged Jamal fast, too fast, and it cost her big. She lost her job, walked off the plane with her head down, all because she didn't stop to think. She thought she knew everything, but she knew nothing about Jamal. And the passengers? They saw it all. They clapped when she left, cheered for Jamal, because they got it. Fair is fair, and mean isn't okay. Jamal didn't need to fight her with words or hands. He fought with truth, and truth won. That's a superpower we can all have, friends. You don't need to be loud to be strong, you just need to be right and wait your turn. What about you? Have you ever been judged fast, like Jamal was? Maybe someone thought you couldn't do something because you're small, or young, or different. Did it make you mad? Sad? Did you want to prove them wrong? Jamal did. He didn't yell, but he showed Karen who's boss in the best way. He stayed cool, pulled out his phone, and let the truth roll out like a big wave. Maybe you can do that too. Next time someone says, you can't, or you're not good enough, don't fight loud. Show them quiet like Jamal. Be you, do your thing, and let them see. That's how you win, friends. Let's talk about those 11 minutes again. Crazy, right? It started with a yell, Karen's big, sharp, you're in the wrong seat. And ended with a cheer, the passengers clapping her out the door. In just 11 minutes, Jamal flipped it all. He didn't plan to be a hero that day, I bet. He was just doing his job, watching, checking, seeing how the crew acted. But when Karen picked on him, he didn't back down. He stood up, not with his feet, but with his cool. He showed us that you don't need to be loud to be heard. You just need to know who you are and stick to it. That's a lesson for all of us, big or small. Think of the plane for a minute. It was full of people, old ones, young ones, loud ones, quiet ones. The chip guy with his crunchy snacks, the teenage girl with her phone, the lady in pink snapping pictures, the old man with his hat and notebook. They all saw Jamal differently at first. Some thought he was trouble, some thought he was just a guy. But by the end, they all cheered him. Why? Because he showed them something true: be nice, be fair, don't judge fast. They learned it, and they loved it. Maybe we can learn it too, huh? Next time you're with people, look around. Who's quiet? Who's hiding a cool story? You might find a Jamal right next to you. Karen's gone now, off the plane, off the job. She's probably mad, maybe sad, sitting somewhere thinking about what happened. She didn't mean to lose everything, I'm sure. She just got too angry, too quick, and didn't stop to see. That's her lesson, and it's ours too. Don't be a Karen, friends. Be a Jamal. Look deeper, ask questions, give people a chance. You might miss something big if you don't like a hero in a hoodie changing the world one plane at a time. And Jamal? He's just starting. The airline said it loud: Mr. Carter's work starts now, and we're making changes. He's got a big job ahead, watching crews, fixing mean stuff, making sure everyone's treated right. He doesn't gloat or brag. He just nods and says, it's about time people learn to look beyond what they see. That's him: quiet, smart, strong. He's not done flipping scripts. He's got more planes to ride, more Karens to catch, more truth to tell. And every time he does, he's helping us all be better. How awesome is that? So, what do you think, friends? Did Karen get what she deserved? Was it fair she lost her job? She yelled, she judged, she wouldn't listen, and out she went. I think it fits, don't you? She picked on the wrong guy, and the wrong guy won. Drop your answer in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Did Jamal do good? Did Karen mess up too bad? I want to hear it all. And hey, if this story got you fired up, if it made you cheer or think or smile, share it with a friend. Tell them about Jamal, the quiet hero who flipped the plane upside down in 11 minutes flat. This isn't the end, you know. It's a beginning for Jamal, for the airline, for us. Every day's a chance to be like him. Look around, be kind, don't jump to guesses. The quiet kid, the new kid, the different kid, they might be the ones who surprise you most. They might change your day, your school, your world. Jamal did it with a hoodie and a phone. What can you do with what you've got? Think about it, friends. Be a Jamal, not a Karen, and watch what happens. It's going to be great. See you in the next one, pals. Keep your eyes open, your heart big, and your judging small. Who knows what story's coming next? Maybe it's yours. Bye for now.